Hey guys, uh, it's been a minute. This isn't a regular YouTube video that I make. I know I look really scruffy right now, like my hair looks terrible and it looks a little greasy. I haven't shaved in a while. I think that's buffalo sauce on my face. We're not gonna try to get into how I look because I just haven't really done anything to keep up with my, I don't know how to explain it. I haven't really been shaving over, winter. I'm not gonna continue yapping, and I'm gonna just get straight to the point of this video. YouTube has become this thing that I've kind of drawn away from, and I haven't really been putting in as much effort as I used to. So I'm gonna take time out of, making for YouTube and focus more on my future careers. Whether it's starting my own business, making certain enterprises, whether it's, being an actor, just practicing acting gigs and doing this other stuff with acting, or whether it's in my music career producing music like I have been on the platform, or whether it's being in my own band, like me and my friends were starting a garage band, and that's going to be kind of cool, I guess. But the main thing I'm taking my YouTube career off of and focusing on something else is my time with God. I'm a devout Christian, and whether, it's me just being in my own church, in my cycle, I really want to focus more on my relationship with the Lord and read my Bible more. I'm not sticking to a script, so I'm just going off what's on the top of my head. I'm going to focus on reading my Bible more. I'm going to focus on being more kind and generous and giving stuff not to YouTube, like how I spend my money on YouTube trying to make videos for y'all. But also, giving y'all this kind of testimony about me being a Christian is kind of a weird thing. But there's one thing that I really wanted to say out here. And I will still be posting on YouTube. That's not going to change. I am going to post, but it's not about the usual stuff that I do, like the unboxing videos. That's stopping. I'm not doing any more unboxing videos. Vlogs, that's also gonna stop after. I'm gonna post one more vlog, and that's my trip to Universal Studios, and that'll be the last vlog on this channel, supposedly. If I make another vlog after that, it's probably something big that I went to, or something. But I might post a few testimony videos about God, but I'll probably be posting only 2 things on this account, and that will be number 1, songs, because I produce music. I've made 2 songs now. I've made High School Hold Up and Church Camp. Those are my 2 songs. You can check it out on my channel. Holy, my hair looks terrible. And fan films. Now, with that, why I want to keep posting fan films out of all things, which is like fan film productions, is because that's another thing with one of my careers. I want to be an actor, so I'm trying to learn, not only how to act, but also kind of the ways to get into, filmmaking and stuff like that. So that's why I'm gonna be posting, these films. And the films that I'm doing will probably be, about action and not, anything else. I posted one fan film. At this point in time, as I'm filming this, I have posted one fan film. And that is the Red Hood and Robin Part 1, which is about Jason Todd and Damian Wayne. And I'm going to continue that series. And there's going to be, a ton of different things in these series, but it's going to stick around those two characters, Jason Todd and Damian Wayne. But it's going to be, this big Bat family film. I'm discarding Bruce, though, because in that he's dead. But if you want to see that, look at my channel. There is Red Hood and Robin Part 1. It's up, and it's just them training, but it is fairly well. The acting is okay at best. My acting is probably the best in that film. There's some clips that are bad, and I should have reshot or cut out, but I didn't. But that's probably the only two things that I'm going to do is be posting fan films and be uploading music. Other than that, there's a few things that I think I want to do, kind of like vlog-wise, which the vlog stuff will probably be uploaded to Boz. Boz is a kind of like a group that me and my friends made. And we will be doing vlogs on that if we ever like get together and hang out. Yeah, we're gonna film there. But vlog-wise on this channel, probably nothing's gonna happen. Or, I do have one vlog planned and I've already filmed it, which was the I haven't posted it yet, but it's our trip to Orlando, Florida, and we went to Universal Studios, and we had a great time there. I have very few clips on that, so it's probably going to be a short vlog, and I'm not really going to talk much in it, but hopefully it turns out to be a good video, and y'all can watch that whenever it comes out. And besides that, I'm probably going to make another channel called Bat Boys, which is the name of our garage band. We've made a TikTok, but we haven't really posted much on that. I'm planning on making a YouTube channel for that. But, so that'll be our garage band stuff will probably be on that account. And then any vlogs that you want to see me in will probably be on Boz with my friends. So it'll be kind of like, vlog-wise, I'll probably, anytime I get with friends and we just do, like, random stuff, maybe I'll post a vlog. But it's a slim chance. And, yeah, vlog-wise, Universal Studios, if I make another, Spider-Man suit, maybe I'll do a vlog about that. I'm kind of like going away from Spider-Man content as a whole, kind of changing it to Batman. or not Batman in general, but, like the Batman family. Don't get me wrong, I still love Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is definitely my favorite superhero. But I'm not really as, in that genre as I used to be, It's kind of like something that I've drawn away to, or away from, I'll still post. I don't think I'll post anything Spider-Man related. Other than if I make a suit, then I don't think I'll post anything Spider-Man related. But it's really funny because each, superhero that I am, I is like favorites, is they each represent a part of me. So, I guess with Spider-Man, he kind of represents my hope. See, like, anytime I have hope, I always have a lot of it, and it kind of, like, boosts this thing in me. That's why I love Spider-Man, because he's a hopeful person, right? And then you have Red Hood, who kind of shows, my anger. I have anger issues, so whenever I get angry, I will get, like, really frustrated to, like, the brink of, me, and that's kind of what Jason Todd represents. And then there's, like, the Flash, right? I wouldn't say Barry Allen's Flash. I'd probably say Wally West. And no, I'm not talking about the CW version. I'm talking about, like, animation and comic book Wally West. He's kind of like my joking side. So anytime I make a joke or a funny quip, it's probably something along the lines that Wally West would do. And that's pretty much the main superheroes that I'm a fan of. I'm not really that big on any others. Gosh. I guess, like, Kai from Lego Ninjago is another person that I'm a fan of. He kind of represents me in a way. Like, as a total, he's like a hothead, right? So it's kind of like representing Jason Todd, but not representing Jason Todd at the same time. So it's like he's kind of like the distinguished one, right? And he's not really a fan of, like, cringe stuff, even though he is a goofball and cringy. Kind of represents me. There's a lot that could, be in my wheelhouse, but that's, like, the main things. And probably whenever I'm finished, another vlog that I might do, whenever I'm finished puff painting my TASM2 suit. See, I'm done with the torso. I need to do the arms and legs, and then I'll be finished puff painting. Once I'm finished with that, I'll probably post a video about it. Maybe not. It really just depends. Anything like that is, like, I don't really do much Spider-Man content, and that's, like, the thing. Like, I used to do a lot, and I kind of just, like, drawn away from that, and that's the thing that I did on YouTube the most, right? So that's, like, the reason I'm kind of drawing away from YouTube as a total as well. And that's, like, I've changed my name so many times, but most of the times I changed my name, it had Spider in it. But, like, my original YouTube name was, I don't even remember. It didn't even have boy in the name. Any like, name that I have kind of has boy. But they all, like, basically stand for the same thing. See, my original YouTube name was, like, X on HD. For some reason. My friend's calling me. My original name was X on HD, and I don't know why I had that name. You know, it was random. I don't even remember why I came up with that. And then I met my friend Elijah, who's also taken a crazy turn into Christianity, and he's like kind of like changing his entire thing about it, and he's cool. It's the way that I see the Lord working now, and it's in people that, you know, I haven't seen in a while. Elijah was one of them. His name was Bendy Boy 5, and since me and Elijah were like really close friends, and his name was Bendy Boy 5, and he took that off of the character from Bendy and the Ink Machine, right? So I was like, okay, who's another character in that? Boris, and I love wolves. Wolves are probably my favorite animal. So I was like, you know, Boris is a wolf. Like, wolves are my favorite animal. I'm just going to change my name to Boris Boy 5 and see, like, where that goes. And that is still the name I have on YouTube. But then I got to a point where I started doing VR content, right? And then all my friends, they called me B. I was like, why are you calling me B? It was random, right? But they kind of shortened Boris just to B because they felt like it, you know? And then I was like, right? And then I started really getting into Spider-Man content and like Spider-Man cosplay. So then I changed my @ and I think my @ is still Spider B-Boy. It might be Boz Spider, but I'll get into that later. I changed my @ to Spider B-Boy, and then I changed my VR name to Spider B-Boy. Now, Spider B-Boy, a lot of people are just like, oh, it's a Spider-Man name, you know, like Spider-Boy. Like an action figure of Spider-Boy right there. No, like that, right? There's a meaning behind that. I'm not even referencing Spider-Man in that. The reason I changed my name to Spider B-Boy is just because, you know, like, it's kind of Spider-Man related, but not really. It's like, okay, Spider B-Boy is not a Spider-Man name. It's just a, you know, content name or a friend name, right? So I was like, okay, Boris Boy. What if I shorten Boris to a B, like how my friends do? And then I just add Spider at, you know, the front of it. Let's just put underscores. See where that goes. Spider B-Boy. That's how that name came. I just shortened my YouTube name and added Spider at the front. That's it. You know? Boris Boy 5. I took away the 5. So, you know, Boris Boy. Boy. Let's just take Boris, make it a B, add Spider in the front. Spider B-Boy. And then I had that for a while, you know, that was like my main. And then I joined, you know, the group Boz, which is just like a friend group that we made. So then I, you know, still a huge fan of Spider-Man, changed my name to Boz Spider. Kind of like, you know, Phase Rug. Rug? Phase Rug. Spider B-Boy. Let's just take away B-Boy. Spider. Keep that. Boz. Everything is capitalized in that for some reason too, and I don't know why we did that, but we just did. And I think we all like got a number in our name, or maybe I don't even know. So I changed the E in Spider to a 3. And that was the last name I got. But then I started, whenever me and my friends started doing, you know, thinking about this garage band, I posted a couple videos about, like, just me drumming and covering songs with drums. And they were kind of bad. But that's because, number one, I do not have a kick pedal for my drum set, which I need so that I can hit the bass drum. But Also, the fact that, my drum set kind of sounds trash. And also, I didn't really do good sound checks for my videos, right? But other than that, I'm fairly good at playing the drums. I've been playing for about like 5 or 6 years. And, it's like, okay, I'm playing the drums. I'm about to join this band. Let's get my original name back. Not Exxon HD, but borisboy 5. Let's take that back, right? Let's get that. So we had Spider B-Boy. We took away Spider. So it was B-Boy. So we had B-Boy there. Then I was like, okay, I'm a drummer. B-Boy, drum, Z. Yeah, let's just add a Z to drum. So, B-Boy Drums. And that's the final name that I got. And I think that's my name on TikTok right now. B-Boy Drums. And having all these names, it kind of, like, whenever I was looking back at it, it kind of reminded me of something. Having these different names didn't, change me at all, right? But I was looking back at these different names and I was like, dang, I kind of changed my name anytime I was in like a new, phase or stage, of my career, right? My YouTube career or like content career. So, we have the starts, the origin of me, which was Exxon HD, right? Then we changed it to borisboy 5. Then my original borisboy 5 account, I don't know what happened. I think it got hacked or maybe deleted. So then I made this account that I'm on right now. And we kept the name borisboy 5. That has been my name on YouTube the entire time. The entirety of this account, borisboy 5. That is the main. And then we moved on and we started doing Spider-Man content. And then we had the Spider-Man stage of borisboy 5. Instead of these goofy vlogs that I made with friends outside, you had, the Spider-Man stage. So I changed my @ to Spider B-Boy. And then you have that, right? And then that was the entire Spider-Man stage. And then we had the like group stage when we made Boz. So you have Boz Spider. I'm still like Spider-Man, but you had that little stage there. And then after Boz Spider, we went back. Now we're doing drumming content. We're in a band, B-Boy Drums. It's like different stages, right? Different stages of me, different stages of my life. I was like, what's a way I can remember these names if I ever just like go off the trails and do my own thing, right? And leave this like content past that I did in the dust. What's a way that I can keep that? Well, I can make clothes. I have a merch website and it's still up. So I have a hoodie and a t-shirt. It's the same print and same thing. You have borisboy 5 on the front of the hoodie with a wolf logo showing that, that borisboy 5, that's a wolf name because it's Boris from Benny and the Ink Machine. We have a wolf on the front. And then on the back, you have Spider B-Boy. So that's like my second name, right? You have Spider B-Boy on the back. And then there's a spider on the back because it's, it says spider. It's kind of referencing Spider-Man-ish. So, we have that. And then I have the Boz Spider name. So I made a pair of jeans that say Boz Spider. B-Boy drums I haven't done anything with. I might do a pair of sneakers. I don't think I will, but I might. I don't know. But I don't think I will with B-Boy drums. But, so I have that. And then I was like, okay, what's another way I can remember this by? I have a VR chat account, right? So I have a character who has my design of a Spider-Man suit, right? My design, my Spider-Man suit, like my Spider-Man is in there. So I'm like, okay, what's a cool way I can reference something with this suit, So we have literally my clothing. I was like, okay, I'm going to slap this clothing, boom, 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 onto the avatar. So on the VR chat avatar, you can select if you want the clothing on or off, right? So you have, you have the hoodie that says borisboy 5 and Spider B-Boy, and you also have the jeans that say Boz Spider. And then, I was like, okay, what's a way of swag that I can add? So I just threw on a pair of Jordan 1s. Specifically the Spider-Verse Jordan 1s. But we're not talking about avatar details. We're talking about the end. We're not the end of this channel, because I'll still be posting. But, looking back at this, it always brings a smile to my face, seeing all these other stuff. And seeing, like, even my really old videos of me, like, whenever YouTube Shorts first came out, and I was making shorts of everything. And I just, like, seen these old videos of me, my brother, my old neighborhood, just having fun, hanging out together, and posting it on YouTube for whatever reason. It brought a smile to my face, and it just showed the crazy journey that I've been through, and how I'm not going to really be in contact with my fans and actually talk to them, because I'll just be making music and making fan films, so I won't be talking to y'all. So that kind of like went through my head. I know this video was like 27 minutes, right? But, or at least in this point of the video it is, but it's insane. And like, I was looking back at my old videos on my phone, because, I've switched phones over the years, so I have that, but I also saved and, like, transported the videos from my old phone. So I have my, my intro that I used to use all the time on my videos that I just don't use anymore. I looked at that, and I was like, holy crap. Like, that's my old intro, and like, that's kind of like the thing that I just started every video with, which was insane to me. And it's like crazy how far I've come, and like how close I am to like actually getting out of this and like going and like doing stuff with my life, instead of just like sitting here in this gaming chair that is covered in paint, on this desk that is covered in scratches and also covered in paint, and random materials and stuff, and looking at it and saying, seeing and saying the amount of like stuff that I've been through and that I've done. I have this certificate on my wall from like 4th grade. My teacher gave it to me, and we were doing this voting thing in our class about, most likely to's or something. And it's like this blue paper, right? It's a blue paper, but it brings back so many memories of like me back then whenever I was doing this. And future YouTube star, presented to Sully Sartin. because you are on your way to stardom. Miss Skelton, my teacher, May 16th, 2022. That's the date. I got this framed, y'all. That from that long ago, and I know 2022 does not seem that long ago, but we have to think it's 2026. Like, it's been a while. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this because this started falling out, and I was like, oh crap. Well, my thumbtack fell. You can borrow that. Sorry, Spidey. You know, and it's like the journey that I've been through. You know, it's insane. Like, seeing all the things that I've done. I was looking back at some old videos, which made me cringe so hard. But then I was like, you know, that's nostalgic to me. I've gone through a ton of different, you know, things with my friends that we do. We have, like, different, like, what's it called? I want to say alter egos, but it's not an alter ego. It's a, not identity. We know how I like, okay, I'm going to do it like this. We know how I like Spider-Man, how I like Lego Ninjago, how I like the Bat Family, how I like Power Rangers. Like, you get that, right? We all have our own, you know, persona. That's the word. We have our personas from those various areas. So I have a ton of things from those various areas. I have my own Spider-Man suit. I have my own Red Hood suit. I have I have a Power Ranger morpher, right? You know. And it's like seeing all this, I'm getting emotional, wow. You know, seeing all this kind of brings me back to those old times. And it, like, makes me remember all the old things, all the old friends that I don't hang out with, that I don't even talk to anymore. Makes me remember all the happy times that I had, the people that I spent it with. I'm trying to lock in so that I can continue speaking. You know, there's times when I sit alone and I think to myself, what if this never happened? What if I never happened, matter of fact? What if my parents never had me? Every time I sit there and I immediately go in my own head, you know, maybe everyone's life would be better. Because a lot of the times when I think like that, I think I'm a piece of crap and nobody likes me. But then I have these times whenever I look back and I see these memories and I'm like, yo, if I was never in this person's life, their life would have changed drastically. Their life probably would have been a lot worse. So it's like, me sitting here and telling you this, like, I've had friends that have told me, I'm not going to name drop, but I've had friends that told me I literally saved them from killing themselves. Just because, I was there helping them and being with them and showing them care when they felt, no one was there for them. Which makes me realize, if I was never there, they wouldn't be here. And it's like, I've really done a toll on people's life. And I don't know whose lives I've penetrated through, social media. So giving and looking back on this, it just brings tears to my eyes. Like, seeing all this stuff that I've been through, all the stuff that I've done, all this time. I've, been my own person doing this own thing, but I'm not, in the right mindset. But then I remember, God's always there, and then God's always here, and he's painting the picture, showing me the way, right? So knowing that God made us, and the fact that everything that we do is for his plan, right? So knowing that I'm that big of a person helping someone, helping someone live, shows me that God is doing works in my life, and that, I'm there for other people, and, that shows that there is a God. I didn't mean to turn this into a spiritual thing, but, that's a thing that, at people's lowest points, God always, or usually, sends someone to help. Now, God has sent himself to me in my lowest point, but he sent me to people at their lowest point. Which makes me think, like, what if, I have a lot of what ifs, but, none of them really matter, because, God painted the picture how he wanted. Not how he wanted, never mind, I take that back, because he gave us free will, but he painted the picture, and he knows what's going to happen. And he knows that, like, if you follow him, he will show you the way, and he will bring forth light in darkness, and he will do all these stuff. But a lot of people turn around and make it, an argument saying, well, he's not in my life. He's not doing it worse for me. He's not doing this or that. Yeah, you know why? It's the same reason you'd be going to hell. See, God doesn't choose who to go, who to go to hell or who to go to heaven. He doesn't choose that. You do. It's either you follow God or you don't follow God. Which, it's like weird to think about, right? You follow God or you don't. Someone said, but that's loving conditionally, and God loves unconditionally, like you say, right? Yeah, he does, But here's the thing. God gives us free will. So if you're on earth and you're choosing to be a bad person and you're choosing your life away from God, he will send you to eternal damnation. Why? He's not loving you conditionally. He's sending you there because of what you wanted. If you're spending time away with God on earth, he's not going to force you to stay with him on heaven. That's not free will. But he gives you free will. If you spend, your time on earth away from him, you're going to spend eternity away from him. If you spend your time on earth with him, you're going to spend eternity with him. And that's how that works. That's that. Why did I turn this into a spiritual conversation? I don't know. Maybe a viewer watching this needed to hear that. God works in miraculous ways. I'm a yapper. That could also be a reason that I said that and started talking spiritually, because I get off topic a lot. But what's the chances I got onto something spiritual? Not a lot. I don't like speaking out about it. But you know what I think? I think that God is the way, the truth, and the life. I think that he sent his only son to die on the cross for us. I think that, without God, nothing would exist. I'm grateful to be alive, so I thank God for that. I'm grateful that I have these amazing friends that I hang out with. I thank God for that. I'm grateful that I have an amazing youth group, an amazing youth pastor. I thank God for that. I love my youth group and I love my youth pastor, and it pains me to see other people hate on my youth pastor. I'm not name dropping or anything, but it pains me to see that because, my youth pastor is one of the most amazing people that I know, right? I thank God that he put her into my life, but it's like, okay, so I see the scriptures, I read the Bible, I do. Not as much as I should, and I will admit that, but I do read my Bible. But there are times when I think, why? Why did he create us? Why? What for? But then I realized he made us in his image, right? I realized that he made everybody how he wanted to. I realized that everything put in play, he didn't think of. Like, we did that. But he just knows what's going to happen. He knows the story. He didn't write it, but he knows how it ends. And that's the thing to put into perspective. Like, what if, what if? What if? But, that's not, it's not a thing. You can't what if, right? But one thing that I will say is that excess matter can't come together and explode giant things of matter. Excess matter can't explode and create living organisms. I can say that right there. Right there. Something has to create it. And if you want to go that route, you want to go there, you say, what's the matter? Right? Like, okay, yeah, the matter, what if the matter was there, right? what created the matter? What created it? They'll say, I don't know. I don't know. Well then, how do you explain that matter getting there? I don't know. I don't know. But then some people backtrack. They say, okay, you can argue with that, but what created God? Well, nothing. Because God isn't, he's not human. He's a being. He doesn't exist on a physical level. He exists on a spiritual level. Also in the Bible, it says that God is for eternity. That means God lives forever, and he never had a beginning. So the earth, you're saying, and the universe had a beginning. And you say that, right? You have to explain that everything has a beginning. But I say God never had a beginning. But then you say, who created God? God is timeless. He doesn't have a beginning. It's just him for eternity. He snaps his fingers. He says, let there be light, and there is light. He could snap his fingers and all of us could be dead. Why doesn't he do that? Because he unconditionally loves us. Why does he love us? Because we're his own creation. If you make something, and I mean you truly make something. Let's take Legos, for example. I'm having a kid mindset when I say this. You make your own character, right? Your own character with attributes that you love in Lego. And you're like, oh, I love that character. You unconditionally love this figure. If something happens to it, it's whatever. No, it's not whatever. If something happens to that figure that you unconditionally love, you're going to get hurt. Just like how God gets hurt whenever we don't listen to him. Whenever we stumble out of our way. But you can always pick up his way. You can always pick up his way and bring that with you. I don't know if any of y'all needed to hear that or not. This video is coming close to being an hour long. None of y'all are going to watch this long, but if you have gotten to this long, I want y'all to comment amen. And if the comments are off, I just want you to like the video. There are things that I wish didn't happen, but if they didn't happen, I wouldn't have become the man I am today. None of this would have happened, probably. Anything different that happens could start a chain reaction and nothing would happen. You could be a completely different person by just one simple thing changing. Take it like this. What if I was never introduced to Spider-Man as a little kid? Hold it. A lot of people would say, maybe your life would be better. Maybe you wouldn't get bullied. Maybe you would actually be cool. It's probably something my brother would say. Here's the thing, though. Would I be a better person? No, I wouldn't. Sure, I might not get bullied. But the thing is If I was never introduced to Spider-Man as a little kid, I would have never looked up to that character. If I never looked up to that character, I wouldn't be a kind guy. I wouldn't be a loving guy. Matter of fact, I wouldn't probably care for as much things as I would. I wouldn't love something on a deeper level than I do. I'm a very kind and compassionate guy. Whenever I'm attached to something, I am attached to it. That means if something that I truly love dies, I'm going to be in this depressed state for a while. Take it like this. If I was never introduced to Spider-Man, I wouldn't have a symbol of hope. I wouldn't have hope for anything. If I was never introduced to Spider-Man, I would have probably committed suicide. Think about it like that. Because anytime something bad happened in my life, I looked to Spider-Man for that. And he gave me hope. Because Spider-Man is a person who brings hope and encouragement to people. He encouraged me because the Spider-Man story, whenever something bad happens, he keeps fighting hope. He keeps his hope. Because without his hope, nothing good would ever come. So I took that and I was like, I'm going to apply that to my life. So I have hope. If I never had hope, I'd probably be dead right now. Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes, and people judge me for that. Why? I have no idea. But if you think about it like that, if I was never introduced to Spider-Man, me as a person would completely change. The person that people like would completely change. Why? Because most of my personality is based off of Peter Parker. That's where I got my personality. That's where I got my hairstyles. Because I do like 2 different hairstyles. 3 at most. I do, my side part, which is kind of like this nerdy, geeky type thing. But what's even more nerdy and geeky that I do is my middle part. Like, that's classic Peter Parker. And, it's whatever. It looks good-ish. But, I base most of my stuff off of Peter Parker. And if I don't base it off of Peter Parker, I base it on Jason Todd. Jason Todd is someone with anger management, for sure. But the thing is about Jason Todd is, he, not Peter Parker, kind of the opposite. But the only reason I look to him for that is because Jason knows how to control his anger. So the reason I looked at Jason for that is because I was like, okay, Jason Todd has been through a lot of crap. He's been betrayed. He was beaten as a kid. His mom, the person he thought was the only one who loved him, betrayed him and worked for the Joker. In order to capture him, Jason Todd was beaten by the Joker, captured and captivated for over a year, getting beat countless times, getting burnt, getting branded. And then Joker blew up the warehouse that he was in. And then he came back to life with a Lazarus pit, which brings someone back to life, slows down their aging, but kind of twists their brain. So not only did he go through that, right, which is terrible, then he's alone by himself. And he fights Batman, the person who he was just a sidekick to. The only person who loved him. He's fighting that guy, right? So how does he keep his cool through all of that? And then eventually, he finds Bruce again, which is Batman, and they're chill, right? But how does he keep his cool? I would definitely not keep my cool. I would not. How does he keep his cool? I have no idea, right? And that's why I look to him. How did he keep his cool through all of that? I wouldn't have, so I look to him every time I think of, like, me getting angry or me getting, like, this or that. I'm getting tossed around for something. I don't know why, right? I look to him for that because he's keeping his cool. He's died, right? And he kept his cool from that. But also in the Bible it says whenever someone hits you, to turn the other cheek. Like, say someone smacked me in my face. What do? I'm not going to fight back. I'm going to turn my other cheek, and I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to fight back. Stupid. Some people will say, oh, but you lost the fight. You didn't even do anything. Did I lose the fight? Or did I win? Because walking away, not only did I gain aura from doing that and not, losing my temper, but it also shows a great sense of being a Christian. It's a great show of growth. Now, if it was me about a year or two ago, I would have beaten that guy like freaking Creed. Or not Creed, that's a bad example. Actually, no, that's a great example. Creed. Apollo Creed. Yeah. Like prime Mike Tyson. No, I'm joking. Like Bruce Lee. No. Yeah, I definitely would have beaten them. But what would I do today? I would turn the other cheek and I would get out of there. I'd walk away. Will I ever get into a fight? Probably not. Because there's, nothing bad that I can do to someone. Well, I'm gonna just cut this here. Because this is an hour-long video, and you'll not want to sit here for that long. I know that. You know what? Just since this is my last vlog, or one of my last vlogs, and since I'm showing this to y'all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my original intro. I'm going to put in my intro that I used to do all the time, and my outro that I used to do all the time. Just because of that. And you know what? I'm going to add my saying that I did too. Well, that's all in a day's work, right? And I'm ending it here. Peace, love, God loves y'all. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Spider-Man, out.
Hold up. Yeah.